Artemis Toast here, and as you can see by the piece of paper held up, we're gonna do another all kinds of awesome album review. Um, you know, I did a lot of them in the past videos that were prog rock bands, hard rock bands, usually something like that, but not always. I threw in a Michael Jackson Thriller in there. And also Radiohead. Okay, uh, Computer, because they're just all kinds of awesome albums. Um, Trademark. You know, regardless of what genre of music you play or listen to or like or any of the above, you know, somewhere down the line, when you talk to these artists, whether it be country, R&B, rock, pop, rap, indie, alternative, whatever, EDM. I mean, any genre. Um, there's one band that all those people have listened to, and that's the Beatles. Arguably the greatest band in the history of modern music. I personally feel that way, and a lot of other people will probably lean in that direction as well. Um, you know, as I said, this is all kinds of awesome album review. The Beatles released in their short time as a band. That was only a few years, like about a decade. They released great albums, constantly progressing their sound. Um, I have a lot of Beatles albums in my collection. Avid fan. I'm the world's greatest guitarist. I'm a shredding machine. I melt people's ears with my amazing riffs, but you know, everybody has a reason they got into it. And as you noticed with the interview with Xerxes, the drummer, last week, you know, as a child, he saw Ringo Starr play on the Ed Sullivan Show, and he was hooked from that moment. Um, Personally, I can't remember the exact moment I became a Beatles fan. Um, I just always remember them being a part of the soundtrack of my life. Today's all kinds of awesome album review is going to be Revolver. Um, this isn't the first album that you know showed their progression, but there's a lot of things, a culmination of things on this album where, in my opinion, the Beatles started becoming the Beatles. Instead of being teen pop sensations, to a certain demographic. This is, there are other albums obviously, but this, for me personally, this is the one that showed a lot of their skill in the production. As well as the song choices. A little more openness with the band as far as who's singing. Harrison getting more writing, more of his tracks getting on the album, things like that. As if you watch my previous videos, you'll know. Being a magical guitarist, I have a lot of respect for other magical guitarists, and George Harrison, in my opinion, was amazing. Personally my favorite Beatle. But getting back to the album, this is a beat up one. I don't collect albums, that put behind plastic and like they're in the museum or something. I listen to them, when I buy them, through eBay or the flea markets or swap meets or what have you. I'm just making sure the record's playable. Um, The art's really cool. I don't, unfortunately, I apologize. I don't know a lot about the history of this. Who drew these pictures, who created this packaging. It's simple black and white drawings with some photo collages. A simply stated, you know, album cover. Sometimes you don't have to make it overcomplicated to get a point across. And then the back is just, hey man, we're the Beatles. We're just chilling. Yeah, we make great albums. As always, Capitol Records. As always, to my knowledge, I can't see that. It should have been Abbey Road Studios. I'm assuming. Taxman. you know, Beatles fans know this, that George Harrison was frustrated with how much money he had to pay to the government. So that was a George Harrison pen track, Taxman. Great song, great opener. It just comes out right out of the gate. Side one, track one. My personal favorite track, on the album, Eleanor Rigby. Because it comes in these string arrangements. It was something. At that point. I don't know if it was ever done in pop or rock at that point. I know I could be way off, but this is certainly, if it was, this is certainly something that helped it reach a larger audience. Because by that time the Beatles are already the biggest band in the world. So any change that they made to their production or song arrangements or instrument choice, had a ripple effect on the entire musical landscape. Another popular track on this album, Yellow Submarine. It's all kinds of awesome. Trademark. Ringo Starr actually sang that one, so that's something. He got a little props there from the rest of the band members. Singing one of their most iconic tracks. Good Day Sunshine, opening track on side 2. Great song to put you in that could change your mood, Another George Harrison pen track, I Want to Tell You, on this album he got one per side, Later on he would get, he's responsible for a lot of great classic Beatles songs, Here Comes the Sun, another one he's, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, great track. Once again, it's the Beatles, Revolver, and it's all kinds of awesome. Artemis Toast, out. Once again, make sure you listen to this album, track 1 to the last track in order. That's the way the artist intended it to be listened to. Whether you listen to it on MP3s, CDs, cassettes, 8 tracks, it's been on everything. Listen to it in order. All kinds of awesome. The Beatles, Revolver, Artemis Toast, out.